Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And I have another interesting subject to talk about in this one because my mind keeps going back and forth on it. And it was a topic of discussion that I originally started on Twitter, which goes like this. Is skill-based matchmaking somewhat or entirely illegal? And your opinions are dead tied at 50-50 on this. 4 of you said yes, 4 of you said no. And the thing is that I thought I'd bring it here and talk about it a little bit more in depth, as well as kind of expand the vote, so to speak. And so that way in the comment section, you guys would let me know what your opinions are. And by the way, thank you for those of you that do comment. It really does help the channel out. So for those of you that will be gracious enough to continue to do that, I'd appreciate it. And at the same time, I really am interested in your take on this. And at the same time, some of you guys might even be in the middle of law school or into law school or want to get into law, and you just might know more about the subject, because all it really takes is for you to be interested in a subject to know more about it, whether it's Call of Duty, whether it's women, whether it's anything you want. All it really takes is for you to be passionate about something, and whether you go to school or not, you'll know more about it. It really is that simple. The schooling is just for you to basically get even more in-depth educated, and at the same time, at the end, you get a piece of paper that basically says you took these tests, you did this for an X amount of years, you passed, and now you can do this as a profession. But the thing is, ultimately, knowledge is knowledge, so yeah, that's all it really takes. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. Now, other than Michael Condrey coming out and saying that Activision is in charge of the microtransactions and the skill-based matchmaking, and they're the ones that implement it or whatnot, and I'm kind of paraphrasing when it comes to what Michael Condrey said, but long story short, we all know that Michael Condrey pretty much let the cat out of the bag and basically said that. But at the same time, as you guys know, when it comes to law, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. So Michael Condrey can say pretty much, you know, anything or whatnot, you know, and it could still be considered bullshit. And the thing is that when it comes to skill-based matchmaking, I can't help but kind of feel that it is wrong. Not necessarily just because I'm a good player, but because it shows favoritism or placism or whatever the hell you want to call it. I don't know. I just made up that word or whatnot, if it even exists, to a certain demographic of your consumers. Because let's look at the bottom line real quick. Regardless of skill, we're all ultimately consumers of the product. In this case, the product being Call of Duty. And we purchase the game. And the thing is, there are other things in there that are being put into the game to basically, let's say, gives us, like the good player or good players, a more unstable experience with the game when they've paid for a stable experience, while the players that are not as good get more of a stable experience. And as a matter of fact, they get things that players that are good at the game do not get. Now, I'm going to go a little bit more in depth in this, and again, I have no proof. I just have my experience and my own thing. Again, it could have been just the luck of the draw, obviously. And while I have no proof, this is all just speculation and all that kind of stuff. So let me make that very clear, but you guys know where I'm coming from. It makes ultimate sense, but even if it makes sense, it's not enough, because when it comes to the law, it's what you can prove, not how much sense something makes or whatnot, and yada, yada, yada. So let me take you back in time to Black Ops 3. Now, for those of you guys that have been here long enough, you will know that on Xbox in Black Ops 3, I legitimately am a level 1000. I grinded the hell out of the game. I enjoyed it. I even have it on PlayStation as well. So, but I'm not proceeding on PlayStation. But the thing is, long story short, I grinded the hell out of Black Ops 3 for at least a couple years or whatnot, and made Prestige level 1000. And I did it the hard way. I really don't play that many objective-based games. I just play free-for-all and team deathmatch for the most part. So basically, if you look at what we know about the skill-based matchmaking patent right now, okay, in terms of what it tracks and how sophisticated it is, and as time goes on, it really is beyond sophisticated. The thing is that before they applied it to gameplay, like it seems like ever since they got rid of the microtransaction system, because of the fact that loot boxes are becoming more and more illegal or whatnot, or basically are illegal at this point after that EA DICE thing or whatnot, and there are many people out there that don't want to risk a legal issue. So they don't put the loot boxes in the game anymore, like the supply drops. It's like after that happened, it's like, you know, Activision was forced to change what they were doing. I mean, do you guys think they actually did it for us? No, they did it for them. If it was up to them, guys, they would still be doing and a probably even worse version of what we got in Black Ops 3, okay, with the supply drop system or whatnot. Trust me, they would, because it's profitable. So here's the thing. If buying COD points gives you easier lobbies, like the skill-based matchmaking patent says it does, or because of the fact that it tracks the way you move, what your stats are, you know, what your rushing routes are, what weapons you use. Oh my goodness, what weapons you use. So back in Black Ops 3, with my experience, I grinded to level 1000, you guys know. I never bought a single COD point. I did all the contracts for whenever they had them, to where you had to get 75 wins for a random weapon drop or whatever the hell it was called. I forget what it's called at this point, but you guys know what I'm talking about. So, or the weapon bribe, okay? So, my experience is this. You guys know I'm an SMG and an assault rifle player. But before unlocking one or two of the SMGs and maybe one of the assault rifles, which, by the way, were the SMGs that I really, like, it was the kind of assault rifles that I don't use. They weren't called marksman rifles, but I don't use marksman rifles or burst fire guns all that much unless you can hold down the trigger, or semi-automatics. I just don't. My trigger finger is very bad. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm single. I've got a terrible trigger finger, you know, because that's what she said. But the thing is that, all jokes aside, though, I ended up unlocking like pretty much every single melee weapon, which Black Ops 3 has a ton of them, and then shotguns and snipers first. And I only have like maybe one or two SMGs, which aren't even top tier, and the assault rifles were the Garand. Okay, so, and I also unlocked one of those pistols. And as you guys know, I don't use pistols. I think it was the Marshalls or whatnot. So, you guys see where I'm headed with this? So, basically, like, I unlocked the stuff that I didn't use first. So again, this is all, when you look between the lines, it's basically all designed in order to get you to buy and purchase COD points. When you look at it from everything today, and even going back to Black Ops 3. So, and that's why skill-based matchmaking is there in the first place. Again, and at the same time, at the end, what it does is it gives you an inconsistent experience. You're basically, I mean, you're paying to have, like, the premium, as they like to call it, right? They refer to the yearly release titles as the premium titles. You pay $60 or $70 to basically have a premium experience. And what you're getting in return, instead of a premium experience, especially if you're a good player, is a lot of inconsistencies and problems that come with what they've implemented with the skill-based matchmaking algorithm, which is very, very brutal to good players. It really is. And it really is unfair, because at the same time, we are the ones that actually promote your game more than the noobs do. I mean, despite the fact that we may not purchase microtransactions, we're the ones that make videos. I mean, granted, there's not that many of us, but the thing is, like, we also used to be noobs at one point. And the thing is, we've grinded the game and played your game and purchased the game, and maybe even previous DLCs every few months for when you had to pay 15 bucks for DLC for map packs. Back in the day, because we enjoyed your game, even back when we were noobs. And then now, all of a sudden, now that we're good and for our dedication, what do we get? We get what we're getting today. And I think that's unfair, and it shows favoritism over one demographic of your consumer over another. But anyway, let me know down in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think it's legal? Do you think it's illegal? Does it stand a case if somebody were to kind of step up and make some sort of proof and get some sort of proof that was on the inside? And we all know that from the inside, it ain't happening, because those guys are just paid too damn well. But anyway, that's all I got for this one, guys. Let me know down in the comment section. This is Jack, signing off.